IncGamera Plays.
Hello and welcome to IncGamera Plays Banished Part 2. In the first part video that we put up last week, we basically took you over the fundamentals of getting a town started, so basic structures, resources, building, how the UI and interface and everything else like that worked. This is going to be a shorter video, mainly because at this point in the game I have actually built everything. So everything is up and running, including trading ports, cattle, and so on, livestock and things like that, and the market. And I just wanted to go over a few final bits and pieces and give you my final thoughts on the game. So first of all, I'm going to have a quick look at the town hall, which is something I mentioned, I think, in the end of the last video, which is a building that you put up a wee bit later in the game, maybe after an hour or so, but the sooner you can get it up, the better, because what it does is it does away with the professions interface, and you now have a new town hall interface, which gives you more information on how your settlement's doing, and you can also assign all the jobs for your citizens in one interface, so it makes things a lot easier, and you can have this popped up all the time, and it's really advisable to keep a good eye on it. I'll just go over it quickly. So you have an overview tab here, which gives you the sort of year that you're in, how many homes, families, citizens, and things like that. So this gives you an overview of how you're doing in the population. On the right hand side, you have professions on the same interface, so you can actually up and down these. Oh, I better put another farmer on there. There you go. And this shows you production, how much you've used, what you require for your population, and so on. And you can tweak everything from the production tab here. Inventory shows you what you have stored up, what's maybe in your trading port, what's in your sort of storage barns, and so on. And your graph shows your population over time, and you can then have a look at each individual sort of segment of the game, like citizens, food, logs, stone, etc. So each resource can be tracked. You can see, like, for example, iron has really shot up there, mainly because I've got iron ore mines now producing. Nomads. Now this is an interesting addition to the game, and it's really important because this can boost your population in small chunks. So you may be able to boost things by like 8 or 10 people or so on, and what they do is they periodically just turn up at the town hall, and you can accept them and become a citizen or not, and then give them jobs, and they become another part of your population. That actually pops up in a little tab here in the interface on the right, with all the other pop-ups that come up, so you can spot them really easily when they come in. And trading, this shows you what you've acquired, what you've managed to get off from the trading post, which I'm going to go on to next. So we'll have a quick look at the trading post. Now the trading post here it's not really that intuitive when you first start using it, so I'll just explain it quickly. Your inventory here is what you want to send to your trading post to trade and store there, so when a trader comes in, you can then use the resources you have collected here to barter for other goods. There's a trading guy in right now. Now he actually wants to sell cabbage seeds, and they cost 2.5 grand. Well, the thing with Banished is that you can have quite a good production line going of food, and it's good to have a variety of different things up and running. So you may want to get cabbage seeds if you can't do cabbage. It all depends on what you start with. So on the left, if I wanted to trade 1, for example, I can boost that to 1, and it tells you the total is 2,500. So I have to make up 2,500 of whatever the currency is, but we'll just say 2,500 there, and I can do that just by whacking these up. But I probably don't have enough here to do it. Maybe. So yeah, I'm going to trade that. So I've basically got rid of 100 logs, 180 stone, and 260 firewood to get 2,500 cabbage seeds. So we'll just trade it. I don't need it, but we'll just trade it so you can see. There you go. Now you can see down the interface here, I've now got cabbage, so I can now do cabbage on my farms. And orders are stuff that you can order when this guy, Migdane, comes back. So I may want to order, peach seeds or whatever. Just really depends what you want to build. This is the thing about Banished. It's so freeform that you can kind of do anything that you want. There's no real path to force you down a certain route. It's very much sandbox. So that's the trading post. It's pretty cool. But keep in mind that the trading system is quite basic. It is basically a barter system. There's not, I wouldn't say it's complex as things like Pharaoh, a game like Pharaoh, for example. Okay, we're just going to move on quickly. I'm going to have a look at the livestock here. Now, livestock in this particular game, I think this one started on medium, so I didn't start with any livestock, so I had to trade items for livestock. Once I got the livestock, they arrive at the trading post here, and then you assign them to go to a particular field, and they basically do their stuff. They'll breed, they'll multiply, they'll then get slaughtered and give you more food, etc. I put up a church here, a chapel I should say. Yeah, it's really difficult to see what this actually does, because as you can see down here, you know, my health, my happiness is 4.5, and it was 4.5, and it has been for quite a long time, and that made really not much difference. I don't know. Maybe someone could tell me exactly what that does, whatever. Anyway, so also we've got a mine up here, so you can, on your mine, you can switch between iron and coal. You can put these up, and then they'll carry them to the storage yards. And quarry, again, quarry for stone. As you build out in Banished, resources become a little bit more problematic. You can't find them so easily on the surface of the map, so you have to dig for them. Trying to think if there's anything else that I may have missed here. I don't think there is. I'll just quickly just show you the farms again, because you can, there you go, I've now got cabbage in option, so I can change that to cabbage, so next season we'll plant cabbage. The thing with the farms is that they sort of come under the disasters where basically you can get an infestation, and you have to crop rotate, so you have to change your crop from one particular resource to another. So if your wheat, for example, gets an infestation, the best thing to do is to change that to another one. Oh, I'll just show you the chickens there. I've got chickens in here. Let's have a look. And they clock away. And they produce eggs as well, so good food source there. Now, oh, and quickly, just the market, which obviously people can go and get their stuff, and you can see stuff stored up in there. Now, actually, in this game, not this save that I've loaded here, I actually got a tornado came swooping in from the top left of the map, and it just basically came right the way across. And what it did was it actually took out 90% of the population away, which was a real problem, and I actually struggled with it for about 30 minutes or so, just trying to get everyone back on their feet. Incredibly hard. I ended up actually abandoning the game. I just lost too much. And that's the thing with Banished. It's incredibly challenging when it throws things like that at you, and that hasn't happened. It's only happened once out of the sort of 40-50 hours or so of playing the game in the last couple of weeks. Just to sort of wrap up, and you can watch the first video for a bit more on the game mechanics and how it works. This really is a sandbox city builder. It doesn't force you down any particular route. There's no missions, there's no war, there's nothing like that. It just lets you do what you want to do, and I mean, it's a great looking game. The only thing I have an issue with is that, I mean, as you can see here, I have built every building, I think every single building, so I got the achievement for it. So once you've done all this, it's a rinse and repeat process, and you may want to expand out on the rather large maps. But obviously, the more you expand, the more less resources you have, and the more you're going to need to dig for them, and so on, and farm, etc. It's not going to appeal to everybody who likes city builders. It's not as complex as a game, say like Pharaoh or Caesar 3. But I think this game is a fantastic foundation for the community to really get to grips with, and you know, once the mod tools are released, we can see some really cool stuff done with this. The AI is good. It looks great. The sort of base mechanics are good. It's pretty solid, and you are going to get to a point where you're going to think, well, kind of, why am I doing this? I'm building out. Why am I carrying on playing? And because I'm doing the same process over, I'm micromanaging my resources, my population, and so on. And I suppose the challenge in itself is actually to get as big a population as you can, and it's not easy because the game is a lot slower paced than, say, something like SimCity or anything like that. So it's definitely, it's worth the $20. Absolutely. I think Luke has done a fantastic job on this game. It just needs more. It needs to be fleshed out, and hopefully we'll see some DLC come in. We'll see the community really get behind it and create more content for the game, and I think that's when it's going to come into its own. But there's enough here to get you started and get you playing, and you will enjoy it for a certain period of time. Let's just hope the mod tools come quickly. So that's just a quick overview of Banished. Again, you can watch part 1 for more of how everything kind of functions and works. I hope you've enjoyed these. You can pick the game up from tomorrow on Steam. I think it's on Steam, sorry, and I think it's $19.99. And if you like city builders and you're not looking for anything too fast paced and you just want to relax and play something like this, then it's definitely worth a look. You can read my review. It's up on the IncGamers.com website now. I cover a few bits and pieces more than we've talked about here. So thanks for watching and listening, and we'll hopefully see you soon on the next IncGamers Plays. Cheers for now.
IncGamers.